Hey, everybody, welcome in as we get set for DEFY WRESTLEVANA. What an event it is here in the month of July in Seattle, Washington. Three big events coming up. Tonight here, we're focusing specifically on Spirit WC, and I'm going to be joined by a very special guest in just a moment. But if you haven't heard already, this Friday, flash sale, 30% off all tickets, not only for Spirit WC on the 28th of July, but for night one of the 8XGP on Saturday, the 29th, and then night two of the 8XGP coming up in August on the 12th. But if you haven't had a chance to attend a DEFY event, now's your chance to come out and check out, see what it's all about. Some incredible action is on the way, and we've got some great guests and some great wrestlers coming up. But without further ado, I'd like to welcome in the person who's going to be my co-host, my guest commentator, my color analyst. She does everything. She's everywhere, and I'm finally so excited to have Veda Scott making her way to Seattle for DEFY. Veda, we've had a chance to work elsewhere. We Warrior Wrestling, Deadlock Pro, a couple of other places as well. You're finally making it out to Seattle for a DEFY event, the kickoff of Spirit WC. Welcome in, and what are you looking forward to? I know you've been waiting for a long time to get out here.
Yeah, I've always been interested in working with DEFY. I love everything that you're doing out there. I love the showcase and the highlighting of talent from the Pacific Northwest, sort of mixed in with all the other amazing independent talent. But when I saw the Spirit WC was coming together, like that was when I got really, really interested. And I was so glad to get asked to come on board.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you along. And like I said, we've called some matches over the years elsewhere. We have a lot of fun together, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun coming up on the 28th. But before we get too far into this, very special guest coming up at Spirit WC. If you haven't heard about it, the one and only Medusa is going to be the special guest host at Spirit WC. Let's hear from her right now.
Hey everyone, Medusa here. I will be at DEFY Wrestling July 28th. I will be signing and hosting at the Seattle Washington Hall. Get your tickets at defywrestling.com. And oh, by the way, I will have my biography there for you to purchase and I will sign. See you soon. Get all your tickets at defywrestling.com.
Boy, Vin, I'll tell you what, it's so incredible having a Hall of Famer, somebody who's done everything and been anywhere that's of note in professional wrestling. I mean, I remember back in, man, it must have been 1986, 1987, somewhere around there. I remember watching Medusa on the old AWA telecasts, right? And then she went out to the WWF, had a run there. You know, now is involved with Monster Jam, but still very involved in professional wrestling. I know she's really excited about coming out here. What does it mean for you to have an opportunity to work an event with a Hall of Famer?
I mean, to me, it just really signifies how important this Spirit WC project is. And I'm really excited to have this as kind of an extra special bonus for the fans who are going to be coming out to actually be at the event live. Because of course, you know, we have announced all of these amazing matches. We're going to talk a little bit more about them. But the bonus of meeting Medusa, like, I don't know, that sounds worth the trip.
It is pretty cool, isn't it? Was she somebody that you looked up to as a fan getting into the business?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also I had the opportunity to I guess you would say work with Medusa back during the women's tag tournament with AEW. She actually was featured kind of in a very similar way with that, just kind of, you know, giving her stamp of approval, kind of just overseeing things. And she was someone who I was shocked at how involved she was and how she was there to give advice and give encouragement. So it's also, to me, it means a lot, you know, for all the athletes who are going to be participating and wrestling on this show to have Medusa there, you know, in sort of a mentor position, because that's just seems to me what she kind of fills when she's at events now.
Medusa is going to be available for VIP fans, and there are still VIP tickets available for meet and greet, so that's super cool. Again, the flash sale this Friday, 30% off all tickets. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific for 24 hours only. You can get 30% off tickets not only for Spirit WC on the 28th, but the other events that we mentioned as well as part of WrestleVana. Now, I want to mention Bessa Gordon is going to be our ring announcer for the night. Well known throughout the Seattle area on radio, part of iHeartMedia. So we've got a plethora of celebrities and guests and fun stuff going on all night long on the 28th. But let's get into some of the matches a little bit. Let's start with the main event. Let's just start right there. Vert Vixen is the DEFY Women's Champion. That's the title that you'll see defended at Spirit WC going forward. There will be other international champions, international wrestlers coming in from all over the globe. But right now, everybody's chasing Vert Vixen. Her opponent that night with the title on the line is Maki Ito. Let's talk about that match a little bit. It's going to be one of Vert's toughest challenges yet.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. And Vert is someone who we've really seen, particularly through the eyes of DEFY, just come into her own and become, this champion who I've now seen defending the title, taking the title all over the place. She just defended it in Japan, in Tokyo Joshi. And she's someone who is determined that the DEFY Women's Championship should have the prestige and the reputation that it deserves. And that's why we're able to have it defended here, too, in Spirit WC and have it be that centerpiece championship. However, I don't know. Maki Ito is someone who I've called quite a few Vert Vixen matches. I call a lot of Maki Ito matches, and I have called Maki Ito matches that have gone everywhere from, just a fun little grappling contest to, oh no, she has a pizza cutter.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So Maki Ito can do just about anything. She is deceptively tough. She's internationally traveled. I don't know. This is a threat for Vert.
I know Vert was really excited going over to Japan and defending the title over there. It really meant a lot to her to truly make the DEFY Women's Championship a world championship, and she did that over in Japan, and is going to have another tough battle coming up on the 28th for sure.
Yeah, I know this one I think is very, very deserving of that main event slot, but I mean, Spirit WC, this first event is going to be history making no matter what, but if the DEFY Women's Championship changes hands in the main event, I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely huge. Of course, if you can't make it out to the event, and if you're watching this maybe next week in the future past the special ticket sale date, we will have the event for you on remix.tv where we watch wrestling, not only some great stuff from DEFY, but PCW Ultra, Enjoy Wrestling, Demand Lucha, and that's just the start of it. Going to be a lot more stuff added as we go forward. But speaking of PCW Ultra, somebody who I want to mention who's wrestling at Spirit WC, DEFY fans are going to get their first look at Zamaya. And again, recently called a match of hers at PCW Ultra. Flat out scary. She gives me kind of Luna Vachon sort of vibes. Everything she does, there's purpose behind it. When she punches, she holds nothing back. She's incredibly frightening. Her opponent at Spirit WC is going to be Portland's Amira. She's somebody that the DEFY fans know very, very well, as part of the ring crew, has been around for a while and is now starting to make a name for herself in the ring. She's had some impressive matches. I don't know that she's run into anybody like Zamaya. I know you're more familiar with Amira, but knowing that she's going in with somebody who's just flat out vicious, what does Amira have to do to be successful?
Yeah, I think I just saw Amira actually post on social media the other day that she's just hit her 1 year in wrestling competition. And like you mentioned, she's been around pro wrestling, specifically around DEFY, for a lot longer than that. But with a year anniversary coming up, that's when you're really starting to get things together. You're really starting to figure out who you are and what you do. And I think going up against someone like Zamaya might maybe make that plan have to change a little bit. That's a big test. I don't know though. Amira, like I said, she's someone who's really, really impressed me in the past year. I see her having matches everywhere, but the way that you have put your endorsement on Zamaya, I am excited to see her in action.
Yeah, she really is something special. I'm excited for this matchup because I like what I've seen from Amira. She's short, she's small, but man, she's super, super strong. Her strength kind of, no pun intended, kind of defies her diminutive stature in the ring. But Zamaya is very young. We don't know a whole ton about her. I understand she's from the Arizona area. The match that I saw, again, you can check it out on Remix from Vamanos Bang Bang is the event from PCW Ultra. You can go and check out Zamaya's match from that. I was really impressed. I'm curious to see how Amira does in this one. But another young wrestler, somebody who's got a little bit more experience than either Zamaya or Amira, but somebody who's still very young and trying to make a name for herself. The Rain City stretcher, Liza Hall, somebody that DEFY fans are definitely familiar with. She was in the match against Vert Vixen to crown the first ever DEFY Women's Champion. Obviously, Vert won the matchup, but Liza's been impressive. She's going to step into the ring against Marina Shafir. That's enough to strike the fear god into anybody, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I have watched the progression of Marina Shafir as a pro wrestler pretty extensively. I call a lot of her wrestling matches, and I sort of say matches because a lot of those have just been Marina completely dominating her opponents and just grinding them into the mat and just doing, what Marina does. But when you talk about Liza Hall and if you have stretcher in your nickname, I mean,
Yeah.
you're maybe a little bit more used to being in the Marina Shafir position. Liza is someone who every time I see her wrestle, she's usually very dominant when it comes to grappling and mat work. So this, I think, is one of the biggest threats that Marina's been up against. It's not often that she steps into the ring with someone who can go toe to toe on the mat the way that Liza can. So this one's exciting too. It's going to be I think a lot different feel than a lot of the other matches on the show. I think it's going to be very ground based, very physical. But I'm super pumped for it.
Speaking of Liza Hall, her sister is on the
Mhm.
event. Liza comes from a wrestling family. Her mom was a wrestler, and her sister Bambi Hall will be competing in the Spirit WC tag team match. She'll be teaming up with Tara from Accounting, who's always a lot of fun to watch. Their opponents that night, Rebel Kell. Defy fans know Rebel Kell very, very well. And we're going to get our first look at Dulce Tormenta. What can you tell us about this matchup?
Yeah, again, this is tag wrestling, which to me is always so much fun. But this match has four very, very different styles, very, very different personalities, kind of forming teams. And it's always intriguing to see like how that works out, particularly when you're talking about a new project like Spirit WC. And when you're in these initial shows, Rich, you know that when these first events are happening, that people are already kind of jockeying for position, trying to figure out, where they stand in the rankings, etc. Got eyes on Vert Vixen, got eyes on future champions who are international champions who are going to come and go. But in a tag match like this with such different personalities, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for tag wrestling in Spirit WC, but I feel like I'm looking at these names, I'm looking at knowing these athletes and these personalities, and I'm thinking either we're going to see a bunch of new, maybe really successful tag teams form, or this is all going to fall apart because there are some strong personalities here.
Dulce Tormenta, I understand, is going to be part of Primo Lucha coming up in October.
Mm-hmm.
The Yakima Valley Sundome, one of Defy's biggest events ever. Ultimo Dragon is going to be there. Among many, many others. Gringo Loco, the Primo Lucha champion, just won that in Portland recently. So excited to see what Dulce Tormenta is all about, and excited to see if indeed she does make the card and is going to be on that event coming up in October. But first things first, this tag team matchup coming up on the 28th. Really excited for that. Trish Adora is going to be there. Trish goes one-on-one with Cat Power. Cat, somebody who's very, very familiar to fans in the Pacific Northwest. Fans in Canada. Trish Adora is somebody who's been coming along lately in the last year or two, and for my money, eventually, if she steps into the ring with Vert Vixen again, they've gone one-on-one in the past. I'm really interested to see where that goes, but it's going to be a big test against Cat Power for Trish. I know you know Trish very well, don't you?
Yeah, I've known Trish for a long time. I'm super thrilled to see all the success she's been having recently. I've also known Cat Power for a long time too, and I've seen the evolution that Cat has gone through as a wrestler. She went from being literally a lot more cat-like to now really vicious, just a really vicious fighter in the ring. And I think she's picked up a lot of different skill sets throughout her time, throughout her training. But Trish is also, she's a technician, and she has, this rapid ascent that she's been going through recently has meant that she's been in the ring with some of the best in the world. She's been coached by some of the best in the world. She just did a stint in the New Japan, Academy in LA. So she is someone who has just been progressing at such a rapid pace. I think it's really hard to scout her and keep tabs on her because she's constantly improving. But I do agree with what you say about Vert Vixen, and I would put Cat Power in the mix too. This is a match that I think we're looking at two future contenders for sure.
I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but talking about people who are cat-like and then it become a little bit more vicious. You did that on purpose, didn't you?
Well, I mean, it just so happens that there's two people who fit the bill, and they both just happen to be on the first Spirit WC show.
We're talking about Allie Katch, of course. She goes one-on-one with Nicole Matthews. It's a Seattle street fight. Let's kind of get you caught up with how things have progressed between these two. At a matchup at Washington Hall, they had a battle. Nicole was talking all sorts of smack. Nicole saying, Allie, you're a garbage wrestler. You're cat-like, all this other stuff. But it was Nicole who grabbed a wrench and knocked out Allie Catch. And then they were involved in a matchup in Toronto as well. And Nicole grabbed the belt, whacked Allie with the belt, and Vert Vixen actually came in that matchup and rolled Nicole up for the win. But for somebody who's talking such a huge game about being, I'm the real wrestler, I'm the one that trains people at the Lionsgate dojo in Vancouver, you're just a trash garbage wrestler. She's the one that's been resorting to hitting people with pipes and belts and wrenches and whatever have you. What do you make of this rivalry, and what do you think we're going to see go down in a Seattle street fight?
Well, I've also known Nicole Matthews for a long time, and none of this surprises me at all.
Really? Why?
This is pretty much textbook Nicole Matthews. She will run her mouth. She will cut corners wherever she can. She's an incredible wrestler. So sometimes I feel like she just is kind of a dick just because she wants to be. Honestly,
okay.
Is what I get. Meanwhile, these things that Nicole is saying to Allie, they might be offensive to someone else, but Allie's heard this all before. Allie's heard, oh, you're nothing but a deathmatch wrestler. Oh, you did. But Allie again steps out and time and again proves that she is, someone who can compete in any type of match. Someone who, yes, does a lot of the hardcore type wrestling, but also can go toe to toe with anyone on a technical level. So I feel like a lot of Nicole's, the trash talk, although it's pretty nasty, it's not the nicest Nicole, it's also nothing that Allie's not heard before and that she's not overcome before. So I am pretty pumped about this. Finally, when Allie's you said that Nicole's been using the weapons, etc., but this Seattle street fight, it's legal, everyone can do it, it's fine, and I would not want to be in a situation where Allie Catch can just pretty much do whatever she wants.
And I'm not saying that this is in response to me, but so I saw Allie years ago in Austin, Texas, when she was starting out, and she had that very cat-like, very playful, a lot of fun in the ring. And we've seen her change over the years. I remember talking to her after a Fest wrestling event in Gainesville, Florida once, and I didn't say this with any derisiveness or anything, but we were talking about her match, and I was like, well, nobody expects to see Allie Catch, have a technical matchup. And then a year later or whatever it is, she's out there having these technical. So I don't know if that was like a major FU to me, or if it was to everybody, if she just got sick and tired of hearing that. I've been really impressed though, because she's tough as nails, but she can wrestle if she needs to.
Yeah. And I think that is maybe just something that Nicole Matthews is aware of, but her inclination to just talk trash as much as possible is winning out. She's antagonizing Allie, and I think this is going to be a violent one.
It could be
Allie gets to use weapons. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's something she's very, very comfortable with. Her and Effie for sure teaming up as Bussy. You've called some of their stuff over the years.
Yeah.
Could get violent if you're sitting in those first couple rows as well, or maybe really anywhere in the building. You might want to be heads up, because you get the sense they're going to go all around Washington Hall, don't you?
I mean, I think they can, right? Seattle
street fight. I mean, they could end up on the streets of Seattle. Who knows, right? Imagine seeing them at the base of the Space Needle whacking each other with weapons. That'd be something else.
I think this one is got a lot behind it, and I'm super pumped for it.
So that's coming up on the 28th of July. And again, this Friday, 30% off tickets, 10 a.m. Pacific, 24 hours only. If you've thought about coming out to a DEFY event and you haven't yet, not only the tickets for the 28th, but the 29th as well. John Moxley's going to be there, night one of the 8XGP. And then August the 12th is night two of the 8XGP. Tickets 30% off. It's a hell of a deal. And, for people that have maybe been kind of on the fence, maybe I'm going to go, maybe I'm not. I've always wanted to go to a DEFY event. These events usually sell out. So, I mean, this is a chance for you to get in there, get tickets, and really see what DEFY is all about. And especially on the 28th, be part of the launch of something really, really exciting and a new entry into the women's wrestling stratosphere.
Yeah, I am super, super pumped. This first event it feels special. It has just this vibe behind it. I know a lot of fans on social media are super pumped, and I'm super excited to be there too. It has just the feeling that we're starting something really, really big.
Oh, Veda, so excited to have you out here, coming out to Seattle finally. Really look forward to working with you at Spirit WC. I know we're going to have a lot of fun. And man, what a night it's going to be. I mean, the world championship is on the line. Maki Ito against Vert Vixen. We just ran down the entire card. And a Seattle street fight with Allie Catch and Nicole Matthews. A lot of good stuff. And I just can't wait to get out there. And real quick, before we let you go,
Yeah.
Washington Hall, from your perspective, you haven't been there yet, right? You haven't worked an event there yet. From your eyes, from the outside, what makes Washington Hall and the Defiant so special?
Ooh, I'm so excited to be there because I've watched a lot of matches from DEFY. You know, I've seen so many moments, and I've seen, you know, the way that there's been people that I've seen, you know, oh, now it's coming to DEFY, and it's someone who maybe I'm not super familiar with, and then like now they're on television a year or two later, or like someone who I'll see come into DEFY, and then all of a sudden I'm calling all of their matches all over the country. Like it's really just such a hotbed for just showcasing talent that needs to be showcased, but then also bringing in some of the top talent from the rest of the world and showing that someone like a Vert Vixen can stand up to top international talent and become a deserving champion. And it's really cool to see. It feels like every time you watch a DEFY event, you're seeing something that people are going to be talking about, and maybe talking about like a couple years later too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. The crowd is honestly, it's second to none, and you hear it from everybody that comes in. It's a destination not only for fans but for wrestlers as well. And we're excited to finally have you come out. Spirit WC, we're going to have the call for you on Remix. I understand Medusa might join us as well for a little bit of commentary as well.
Ooh.
So we'll see what the story is with that. But we're running out of time here. Tickets this Friday, 30% off, 10 a.m. Pacific, 24 hours only. Spirit WC, Veda and I on the call. On Remix, and if you can't make it out to the event, you can watch it on Remix. But we hope to see you there. Veda, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you in Seattle.
Thank you.